everybody, this is Donna. Welcome back. We're going to do session number 2 where we're going to learn today about secondary colors. Remember last time we talked about how you can make all the colors of the crayon box using blue, red, and yellow. So today we're going to go to the next group and we're going to make green, orange, and purple. And I brought along some paint just to show you. I have some red paint, some blue paint, and some yellow paint. So if I mix, let's start with the yellow and the blue. What color do you think you're going to get? If we use equal amounts, we're going to get a bright green. So let's see if I can get equal amounts and put them over in another pile here. So there's some yellow. There's a little bit of blue, and when we mix them together, we get a shade of green. And the shade of green is going to change depending upon how much yellow and how much blue you add. And if we mix the yellow and the red, we're going to do that over here. We're gonna get, must need a little bit more yellow. Maybe didn't get quite enough. It's not quite a bright red. You can see it's more of an orange color. And that's where the orange comes from. And it's gonna change depending upon how much of each you add. See, when I add more yellow, it gets to be a lighter color. Then we're going to add, let me clean my brush here real good. We're going to add some red and some blue. And red and blue give us a shade of purple. And depending on how much red or how much blue you want in your purple, you can mix them together until you get the color you want. Now, if you want to make these colors a little bit brighter, oops, I didn't shake that very good. Let me mix it up a little bit more here. If you want to make them a little bit brighter color, you just add some white to it. See how that lightens it up and makes it a lighter purple. It would do the same thing with the green and with the orange. But we're not going to use paint today. We're going to use crayons. So get out your purple crayon, your orange crayon, and your green crayon. These are the 3 crayons we're going to use. And we're going to make some flowers. So the first flower we're going to make is going to be this poppy. And notice it's out of a paper plate. So you're going to take your paper plate. And if you need your mom to help you, have your mom help you. And I didn't have any that were plain colored, so mine's going to have a little bit of purple in it. But notice how the edges are kind of cut out a little bit here. So we're going to cut out some little leaves and make like some petals. And how many do they have? They have 4 petals, but you can make as many petals as you want just by cutting out your paper plate to look like that. So just go around and cut some of your paper plate out. And then you've got your petals. And then you're going to take your orange crayon and you're going to color in the whole paper plate and make it orange. My plate's kind of slick, so it doesn't really want to take the crayon very good. So if you have a plain white paper plate, you're probably going to do better. But this was the only one I had on hand, so this is the one I'm using. So after you get your paper plate colored, notice that in the inside they have a bunch of black pieces, because if you look at what poppies look like, you can see how the middle of the poppy is black. These are some of the poppies from my garden from last year. So notice that all the little parts in the middle are black. The poppy flower petals are kind of ruffly, so they make kind of a pretty flower, and when there's a whole group of them, they're really, really nice to look at. But we're just going to make a single one today and make it kind of ruffly and add a black center. So all of those pieces that you took out of the side for your poppy petals, if you take those and color all of those black, look at how nice the back of my paper covers. And then after you do a couple of those, you can either cut them in pieces like they have theirs cut, or you can, if you can tear your paper, you can tear it and make it into lots of little pieces and use as many as you need to. And then you're going to take your glue stick and put a bunch of glue in the middle of your poppy. And that's where you're going to stick on your pieces to make the middle part of your poppy. Whoop, there. So you can see, you can just add more and more and more to that, and then you have your poppy made. So I'm going to make a couple more pieces because I know you're probably still coloring too. So while you're coloring, I'm going to go ahead and color and make some more black. Then when we get done with that, we're going to talk about how to make and draw a couple of other pictures. And you can try this, or if you don't want to try drawing one yourself, we can just color in the pictures that we printed off that you probably have in front of you. And that would be fine too. So here's some more black that I've made. And I'm just gonna cut these, tear these in pieces and glue them onto my poppy. Now my poppy does not show a lot of orange, so it's not a particularly pretty poppy, I don't think. But it works. And it gives you the idea of what you can do with just a paper plate and some crayons and some glue. So there's my finished product. How's everybody doing with theirs? If you need to pause the video while you finish making yours, that's okay. Go ahead and pause for a minute. Since I'm taping this, I'm going to go ahead and start on the next idea so that everybody can just follow along as they can. So the other thing we're going to do is, I forgot to bring paper. Wait a minute, I got to run and go get paper, so you keep coloring. Okay, I'm back. So let's look here. I'm going to use my blue pencil or crayon. So we're going to make a pansy now, and pansies are purple. So that's how we're going to use our purple. So if you want, you can try to draw these, and this gives you a step-by-step picture of what to do. So you see that it starts out with one teeny tiny little petal in the middle and a black dot. And those are usually yellow. And then it has this ruffly little petal around the sides of it. And there's 3 of those. The one at the bottom is a little bit bigger than the others. So let's see how good I can do. So we do a little circle and a little bit of a ruffly petal around it. And then that has a bigger petal down here. Another one kind of off to the side. And you can see mine's not exactly the way this one is, but that's okay because everybody makes their own kind of drawing. So this would be your first step of making one. Then notice the next one has great big petals back behind it. So it starts in the middle here and comes way around this one and then back up inside behind there. So you can see it comes way around, it's a little bit wiggly and comes back in. Then it's a little bit fluttery on this side and comes back around underneath there. So that's the second step that you're going to do. Then we just add a couple more leaves in underneath. So look at how this one starts back in the middle of this petal. The reason it does that is because you want to make it look like it's behind these 2 petals. If you started here and came out, then it would look like it was the same size and make it look flat. This way you can make it look like it's behind. So you're gonna, I didn't leave myself enough room, so this is gonna be a small one here, back behind it. And then this one, I left enough room so I can come out and make a nice big petal down here. So pansies are usually purple or yellow or white. There's some that have some orange in them. So you can either make yours like purple in the middle here and then make your outside petals orange, or you can make your outside petals yellow. Either one would be fine. And these little lines here that are coming out just show you that in the middle of the petal there's a little bit of a space. It kind of makes the petal look the way that it's supposed to. So you're going to kind of put a little bit of a line there, maybe one there. You know, they're not going to be absolutely the same. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals. Mine has 1, 2, 3, 4 petals. So if I wanted to add another petal, either over here I could, or I could add one maybe down here that would just be a littler one sticking out. And then I was thinking I like purple pansies, so I was thinking I would at least color the middle part of mine purple. And keep on petal, you know, inside as good as you can inside the lines. And just make your purple petals. There you go. Not too bad. And then that one I'm going to make orange. And then I'm going to put a yellow center in mine. You can do yours the way you want. Everybody gets to do their own original pansy. And then I think I'll make my outside ones, oh, I think I'll make those yellow also. And you can get real creative if you want and make them mostly yellow. And then if you want to add a little drama to it, then you can add a little bit of orange along the edges, because some of them come with orange at the edges. So that makes them a little bit more fun. So, you know, go ahead and keep coloring. I'm going to keep coloring mine. And we have a pretty little pansy here, which is one of the first flowers that comes up in the springtime. A lot of times you can even plant them, like today it's only 50 here. You could even plant them outside today and they would be fine because they like cool weather. Once it gets really hot, like in the 80s and 90s, they don't do as well. So we have our cute little pansy here. And you can take as much time or as little time as you want with coloring it. And it just gives it kind of a, whoops, I went outside the lines, but that's okay. So it's kind of just a fun little flower. Okay, now we talked about the other one of the secondary colors. So we've got our orange, and we've got our purple, and the other one is our green. So we can go ahead and make our stem come out of the pansy, and that one curves because the pansy head seems to be facing that direction. I'm going to make mine so that it looks like the pansy head is facing towards me. And then notice the leaves on it. They're kind of, what do they call that? Sawtooth kind of. So you can kind of make your green leaves. Color in your stem. And then your other one is over here, and it's kind of zigzaggy too. It's a little bit tricky doing this from this angle. I'm not used to working up and down like this. And again, your leaves have a line down the middle of them to show you where the middle of the leaf is. That's not a very wouldn't win any art prizes for that one. I'm going to use a little bit of a blue in the middle of them just to kind of highlight the middle part there. So if you wanted to, then you could make another pansy over here, and you could have another one over to the side. You can make as many as you want, and then you could have a bouquet of pansies. So that would be kind of a fun thing to do if you had the time and the interest. So we've made our poppy out of our paper plate, this one here, and now we're going to make a poppy that we can draw. So let me see if I can draw from the other side. I think it's better if I stay here though. Okay, now you notice that the poppies in my garden have lots and lots of petals. And I'm not sure what the official name of this kind is, but there's also something called California poppies, and that's what this is. California poppies have just flat, pretty much just one layer of petals around them. So you can look at this one, and I'm going to scoot it over this way a little bit more so that I have it close by so I don't lose my place. So okay, so let's see, where should we start with this one? You can start in the middle there. So that's probably a good one, and I think I'm going to go down a little bit this time. so that I have plenty of room for my petals. And I made my circle in the middle. And then all of the stamen and stuff is all around the edges. So then you make your curlicue, just draw some curlicue circles around there. And if you look, these are almost heart-shaped. So you can start, it looks like maybe they started with this one because it's a complete kind of heart shape with a little bit of a dip in it and then comes around like that. And then the one opposite it is a good place to start next because those two are probably going to be the ones that are out in front. Then this one has 5, and a lot of times with flower petals they have an uneven number of petals. So they'll have 3 or 5 or 7 rather than the 2, 4, 6, or 8. So, and that was the same thing, notice, with the pansies. We ended up with 5 petals on the pansy too, and 3 in the middle. So then we have another one that's kind of off to the side here that joins these two. So we're going to come and make these like this. It kind of comes in there, or you can make it come in even more. Then this one here isn't going to come all the way over to the other one. It's going to leave a little bit of a space so that we can put that 5th one kind of way behind down here. So now we have our poppy, and we're going to color it orange. And poppies are just totally orange. Now mine in my garden are more of a red orange, so if you were going to paint, you would use a lot more red in with your yellow to get a brighter orange color, a redder orangey color. But this one is if you mix equal parts of red and yellow together and get your orange. And then, after you get all of these colored in orange, you can go ahead and make a stem. And if you want, you can color in the middle part here is black. There's no yellow in the middle of the poppies. They're all black where the seeds are. And actually when the poppy flower is done, it dries up and it makes a seed head and has tiny, tiny, tiny black seeds all inside of it. And that's how you get more and more poppies. So I started with a couple of plants and now I have, I don't know, maybe 8 feet of poppies growing in my garden. So this is what the bud looks like before the poppy blooms into this. But notice the difference in the leaves between the pansy and the poppy. So this is a California poppy. My poppies have more of a, oh, excuse me, there goes the easel. That's from me leaning on it too much. Oops. Okay, here we go. I guess we're okay for the moment. Anyway, so we can go ahead again and take our green crayon and make a stem, and then make, look at how this has one main branch coming out and then lots of little leaves on it. And they're kind of, I don't know, kind of swirly. So you can make your leaves and attach them. Make sure they attach to the stem. And these leaves are directly across from each other, so they meet kind of in the right on the stem, and the other one comes on the same side. And then at the very end, you have another little leaf. And if you want to make these look like real leaves, they would have a little line down the middle too, and then you could go ahead and color them, and if you use a different color for your middle line, then it will look like real leaves. So you can go ahead and add as many leaves as you want to that. And to make your bud, you just have another stem coming off over this way. And then your bud is going to be just like an egg. And it's got little speckles all over it. If you do that with your black crayon, and then you color it green, then that's what it's going to look like out in the garden. And then, but then when it opens up and it's orange. So we talked about all of our different colors. Remember, we talked about our primary colors, which are yellow, red, and blue, and how when you mix those colors, you get all the rest of the colors in your crayon box. So the second group of colors, when you mix the red and the yellow and you get orange, and you mix the red and the blue and you get purple, and the blue and the yellow and you get green, these are called secondary colors. And so that's what we worked with today, was the secondary colors. So I think that's good for today, and I will see you hopefully again next week, and we'll do something new and different, and we'll use some more colors and come up with something new to make. So have a happy Easter, because that's coming up on Sunday. So if you don't have flowers blooming in your yard, you can make your mom or your grandma or whoever you want, you can make them a bouquet of poppies and pansies. Have a good day, everybody. I'll see you later. This is Nonna, Donna. Love you very much. Bye-bye.